What's going on, guys? This is Travis here, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of different kind of video. So you will see some random showdown footage in the background, but I'm not going to be narrating it. I'm not going to be talking about it at all. It's just there for eye candy, I guess, because I couldn't be bothered making an image. This video is to talk about a thing that Shadi uploaded. So if you don't know Shadi, you should. He is one of my best friends in the world, but don't tell him I said that because he can't. He's one of the best League players around, and really just go check him out. He's really cool, and he uploaded a video on Mumbling, which is the best name ever, about gender identity and all that kind of stuff. And I decided to record my own video about this because it is actually something that I am quite invested in, I guess is the right word. I would suggest you go watch that video before watching the rest of this, because then things will make more sense. There'll also be two other videos in the description which I will reference. One is by Shoe on Head, which is There Are Only Two Genders, and one is the video that she also referenced. I can't remember the person's name, but it'll be in the description. I'll probably put an annotation on screen for those videos. I suggest you go check those out, because then things I'm saying will make more sense. So, first thing I want to cover is I am studying like biology and chemistry and physics and all these science subjects at university, and first thing I want to cover is, from a scientific standpoint, there are more than two sexes. Most people disagree, not most people, most common people, but biologically there are more than two sexes, because there are people with XXY and XX and weird chromosome problems that mean that they are neither essentially a man or a woman from a purely biological point of view, first of all. Now, I know that a lot of the non-binary and agender identification stuff has nothing to do with that, but it is a good point nonetheless to say that there are people who genuinely fit into neither, and the fact that people automatically try to class them as either a man or a woman is incredibly hurtful to them, because they are neither, and that makes their life shit. This isn't gender dystophia, which is a mental illness. This is a birth defect, for lack of a better word, something they are born with, something they cannot help. Same as gender dystopia, whatever the word is, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person. But point is, there are intersex people, and you need to respect that when talking online or talking to other people in general. Next point I'm going to go over is with like pronouns and that kind of thing for people who identify as a gender or non-binary or whatever. Now, this is where watching Shoe on Head and the other woman's video is important, because they make the point that these are all just labels and there are only two genders, you're always based on two genders, and etc. and stuff like that. The way I view it is, if you feel that way, maybe your gender identity isn't particularly important to you. But to some people, it is extremely important. The second video is a transgender woman who was born in a man's body and transitioned to female, sorry. And her point is, you don't see agender or non-binary people on all of the political spectrum, which at this point I agree with, but I also don't see redneck or extremely right-wing transgender people generally. And I'm sure if you looked hard enough, you would eventually find one. Maybe it's because transgenderism has been around for longer as a concept, whereas agenderism is still relatively new, people are still finding out about it. So I would say, to that argument, give it time and see. It could be correct. But that doesn't change the point. The point is, if someone says they're agender, they're not saying, I have been incredibly disrespected my whole life, I have lived an incredibly tough life. They're saying that this thing makes them more comfortable if you use these particular pronouns. If they ask you to use different pronouns, it's because it makes them happier if you do it. It takes literally no effort on your part, particularly in English. In English we have it so easy. They, them is such an easy pronoun to use if the person chooses to use them. And you can just make the little shift in your head to remember to use this pronoun when referring to said person. And that will make their life better for no effort on your part. And if you refuse to do that, for whatever reason, you're an asshole. There's no other way to put it. Like, you're deliberately disrespecting someone for no apparent reason. Sure, you might not think that these genders exist. You might not understand it. You might think that it's just a phase they're going through. But at this point in time, that's irrelevant. This makes them more comfortable with their life. Do it. It literally takes no effort on your part, and that's what I fail to understand. If it was something where it's like, I feel more comfortable if you go buy me $100 worth of ice cream every day. Obviously, people aren't going to buy me $100 worth of ice cream every day because it's stupid, it's not good for my health first of all, but it takes a lot of effort on their part, it's detrimental to their life because it takes time and money. Using a different pronoun has no effect on your life. It has an effect on theirs. Someone asks me your pronoun, you just do it because honestly it takes no more effort on my part and it makes them feel so much better, and I just don't understand how people can't not do that. And this is saying, ignore the fact that you might not believe in the existence of more than one gender or whatever. Just do it because it makes other people happy, and if you don't want to remember their label, that's fine. Most people, I'm not saying all, but most don't care if you remember the specific label of what they use. But if you say, hi there, how can I help you, sir? And then they say, oh, actually, I'd rather you didn't use sir, I'd rather you just either didn't use anything on the end of that phrase, or you use a gender neutral pronoun or whatever. And they do it in a polite way, and you respond with, okay, I'm sorry, I will make an effort to use gender neutral pronouns. Boom! Problem solved! Everyone's happy. And I don't see why people can't just do this, and this goes for both sides. If you are non-binary or gender neutral, or any of those things, understand that there are a lot of people who haven't encountered this kind of thing before, who don't understand it fully, and so be polite. To begin with, obviously if someone says, nah, fuck that, you're a woman, I'm calling you her, then you can start to get a bit more agitated, a bit more forceful, or just stop talking to them because they're obviously not a very nice person. But if someone who you've just met, like you meet some random in the street, they're asking you for help and they refer to you as what they perceive as your gender, don't assume my gender and start getting mad at them, because that won't help anything. That is detrimental to your cause as well, because you're giving a negative image to people of your movement or of your identity or whatever you want to call it. So if everyone just stays polite and just does what makes other people happier, the world will be a better place. Anyway, just kind of want to get this rant off my chest. It was an absolute ramble and I apologize for that. If you have sat through the whole video, thank you very much. Unlike Shadi, I'm actually going to encourage discussion. He didn't exactly discourage it, he just sort of said, like, if you disagree with me and think that this is dumb, like, you're an idiot, because this is my... If you watch the video, you'll understand what I mean. I'm paraphrasing it very poorly and making it sound like an arsehole. It wasn't phrased in that way, but watch the video, you understand what I mean. If you disagree with this viewpoint, I would love to debate it with you, provided it stays polite and logical, and you use arguments to back up what you're saying, and don't just say, you're wrong, you're gonna die and go in hell and everything you life's gonna suck because you're wrong. Like, I don't want that kind of discussion, but open-minded discussion I am perfectly happy with, and if you want to leave a comment or tweet at me, my Twitter link is always in the description, and those kind of things, I would be happy to have a discussion with you on that. So, I think I've rambled on about this for long enough. I'm gonna go back to playing Pokemon Sun, because it's a fucking great game and I love it. And I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video.